Welcome, everybody. My name is Michael Camo. I'm Director of Content for T3 Live. I'm here with my good friend, Sami Abusaad and James Rich Young. I'm sure, as you guys know, the market is closed today in honor of Jimmy Carter. And also, let me just say, all our friends out in California, we hope you're doing as well as possible. We hope you're getting through this as best you can. James himself got evacuated. So we just hope everybody is making it through. So hopefully we can provide you with some education and entertainment on, what doesn't seem like the happiest day in the world. But we're going to talk about a big topic today, which is mentorship and growth as a trader, because James and Sami both have unique stories. Very oddly enough, this is something we'll discuss in a few minutes, but about 6 years ago, James was on one of these events with Sami, and he ended up becoming Sami's student. Then James became a leader in the room. So it's actually a pretty cool story. So give us your undivided attention. Hopefully you're in a quiet place. Shut down all your other stuff on the internet. Turn off YouTube, Twitter, all that other junk, because this could be important to your trading journey. And later on, we are going to discuss how to make Sami and James your mentors. And we have a nice crowd coming up. YouTube people a little light today. I'm surprised. YouTube people need to step it up and show up more. But anyway, again, stick around because we're going to talk about how you can make Sami and James your mentors. Now, so Sami's our director of education. He's a former CPA. They're both professional traders based in California, and they lead the Strategic Day Trader VTF. And James, of course, he's the VTF moderator. Interestingly enough, a formal apparel entrepreneur, and he has a giant YouTube channel, James Rich Young. Search him on YouTube. He does a ton of amazing education and lifestyle content on there. Now, this picture is cool because this was taken at Sami's mentorship in Chicago in 2019. And again, as I said before, about 6 years ago, James was attending an event like this, and he became Sami's student. And now James has become the master. We don't know if James is going to slay Sami and push him out and take control of everything. But James himself has become a master in his own right. Okay, so I think we should start with this whole topic of having someone to learn from and someone to grow with. So James, could you talk a little bit about how Sami helped you develop into becoming a successful pro trader?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, when I first started, so let me tell you, go back to how I got into trading first. So first, I was in the apparel business, and I absolutely hated it. So I was looking for my way out of the apparel business. So I was looking for like another way of secondary income. And I started to research and get into real estate investing, drop shipping, even got into some option stuff like swing trading. And I probably spent over $40,000 of my own money going into seminars and all kinds of courses. And I've tried them all and failed at all of them. And I think one of the reasons why the day trading with Sami actually ended up working out for me was because he was there every day to kind of hold my hand and guide me through it. Because some of the other courses that I went through, they basically just give you videos or just give you this and say, okay, watch this, go try it. And it's hands off, right? Good luck to you. Whereas here, Sami really created like a nice little community where I could come in every day, ask questions, get feedback, and just continue my education while watching him basically do what he does, right? Watching him live and seeing exactly what he does. So I can mimic that action, because a good way to kind of find success is to just mimic someone who's already successful and just copy that routine. And that's kind of the process that I went through when I first took Sami's mentorship.
Okay, Sami, can you talk a little bit about the importance of this mix of sort of real world trading with the teaching, the classroom teaching? Like why do you mix those things in together?
How else would you do it? I mean, that's the best way to do it. You real trading plus education. So you're on the you're not just learning the theory and now you don't know how to apply it. Now you're actually learning the methodology, and we're also showing you how to apply it. It's really the best of both worlds.
Yeah, our friend VRL is saying Sami looking buff today. I agree. Sami looks amazing today. Yeah, and I think this is something that's very important because like we do traditional online classes at T3 where you basically watch video recordings and read PDFs and learn. But what we're going to talk about later is something that is what Sami talked about, hands-on, which is not just another weekend lecture with 500 people in an auditorium and then Monday morning. Where did your teacher go? Why isn't he trading? It's very strange. Another funny comment from Victor. Sami looks 10 years younger after the 2 weeks off from trading. Okay. So I want to ask you another question, Sami. So Sami, I'm sure some people have seen this video where Sami talks about how he had this amazing start to his trading career. He turned like 15,000 into 50, and then he lost 65. So he went on the big roller coaster and he went down $15,000. So could you talk a little bit about how you came back from that, Sami?
You know, I may not look it, but I'm extremely driven as an individual, and I learned to be very motivated and driven because I wanted, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pro athlete. I'm sure a lot of kids are like that. And so it taught me the discipline and the drive and to never give up and all of that stuff. And so when I lost it all, I thought, you know, like I thought I'm just getting started. Like you don't understand how tenacious I am. I'm gonna figure you out. I was talking to the market, obviously. You think you beat me? You don't even know. So that's kind of the attitude that I had, and I just didn't give up. Like I literally didn't give up. And I thought that, you know, I saw my account. It was 16,000 to be exact, because I saved up $20,000 while I was still going to college from an accounting job that I had on the side. I talked a local firm, which is now a huge national firm. It's called Armanino McKenna. And I talked him into hiring me before I graduated because I was a 4.0 student, and I could do whatever I wanted basically when it came to getting hired. And so I told him, look, my last year in school, I will get my classes. I'll still be a full-time student, but I will be going to school only on Mondays and Wednesdays. Can I start work early Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday? And they said, sure. They didn't want to do it, of course, but they said, sure, because they wanted me to sign with them. And so I saved up $20,000, didn't know what to do with it. And I said, look, I need about $4,000 for living expenses. I will deposit the 16 in a trading account and start trading, because I was reading about Warren Buffett, read about a kid in New York who the year before, a 21-year-old kid who made $1 million verified, and I thought, if he can do it, I'll blow him out of the water. That's how driven I was. I wasn't like arrogant, but I was just like so motivated. And so from 16, I got it up to 50, almost 50, just like a few $100 shy of 50,000. And my whole family was shocked. Like, wow, this is like, if you can do this while, trading very part-time, because I would just trade in the morning before I went to work. I lived on the West Coast, and that was helpful because I could trade the first hour and then go to work after that. They thought, if you could make this kind of money, and my older brother, who is a PhD, and said, let me do some research. And he started like looking into trading and how you can really boost your performance. And so he started doing it. He did the research for me and got me into very volatile stocks. And I gave it all back, plus $15,000 more, basically. And then at that point, I knew that I had just gotten lucky, that basically what I was doing, I was buying. I didn't short at all. And the market was super bullish at the time. We were just bouncing off of the tech bubble, right? We bottomed in 2003. I started in 2004. And so the market was just bouncing really hard, and I apparently got lucky, playing long, swing long, not day trading, just swing long. And then when the market turned, or when my methodology also a little bit changed, because now I had somebody else, my older brother, interfering, right, with my trading, thinking that it's just a matter of research, and it wasn't. Um, I gave it all back, and plus some more, obviously. But I thought, I made the money, so I know it can be done, right? I know it can be done. I just need to figure it out. And then I spent the next 2 years really figuring it out. Don't forget, at the time there were no such things as like real trading, well-established trading schools with track records and all of that stuff. There was like one or two on the whole internet, and so it was very hard. And the truth of the matter is, at the time, I participated in a trading challenge on Zax.com, where the winner of that challenge, and there were like almost 1,000 participants. Is a really big contest, a lot of participants in it, and the winner of that challenge got $100,000, like real money. And so I participated in it. I wasn't too serious about it, but I just participated. I didn't do well, but I did reach out to the number one performer, because he posted in a blog post that his father had passed away. So I sent him just a heartfelt message, and he responded. And so he told me that he learned it all from a small company called Pristine at the time. I never heard of Pristine. So he said, check them out. And of course, I immediately did. And then I liked the methodology because it made sense to me. I was into math. I'm an accountant by trade. So I need to make sure the logic is intrinsically valid. I need to make sure everything makes sense. Everything is rational. No BSing. No, just buy it because I said so. No. So the Pristine method made a lot of sense to me. And so I bought in. And I committed, and then my goal at the time was, let's save up as much money as possible so I can quit my job, because I didn't like my job. I went to school, studied hard, got a full scholarship, right? Was nominated the valedictorian of my class, only to find out that I had studied the wrong major. I liked math and I liked accounting because it was practical, and it was also math based. So I wanted to study something practical, and also something that had to do with math. I didn't want to major in math because at the time I was told you're gonna have to get your master's degree and become probably a professor or something. I didn't want to do that. I wanted something more challenging and more I can achieve, I can be greater at than just a teacher, basically. Not knowing that teaching was actually my calling in life. I love trading, but teaching is actually my calling. So I decided to study accounting, and then when I went to work for corporate America, it was not what I thought it was going to be, unfortunately. So I knew right away that no amount of money that I could make, and you could make a lot of money as an accountant, especially if you join the big four, which I did. I got offers from all four of them, and I joined KPMG because I joined KPMG, and so you can make a lot of money as an accountant. You never have to worry about job security. Even in a recession, companies still need to hire accountants, auditors. I was an auditor, and but I knew right away within the first week. I told my classmate, who actually also joined me at the same firm, I said, no amount of money is worth this. Being stuck in a cubicle until 9-10 p.m. during busy season, 9-10 p.m. every day. And I said, no amount of money is worth it. And so I knew I needed to change course, even though I had dedicated the last 4 years of my life to getting into this big four accounting firm, and decided to get into trading. So I worked for 4 years. I think I lasted, saving as much money as I could so I can go full time at it, and I did. Initially, it was hard, like it is for everybody in the beginning, except James. James is different. Like, he's the only guy. I kid you not.
Okay, all right. Why don't I
Yes.
jump in here? Because I do think that there is a parallel with like the sports background. Because I know Sami was like an obsessive soccer player outside of the US. You may know it as football. But James, now I know you're like a power lifter, like you're a serious lifter. James has bigger muscles than me, which is shocking. Nobody can believe that. So James, I think, can you talk about like your personality? Like, do you have that same like kind of like persistent dog in you?
Absolutely. And I think even like the students I've taught up until now, the ones that I see kind of I see that are succeeding are the ones that are persistent, right? The ones that are pushing, and I don't know if annoying is the right word to use, but just annoying the teacher, just asking a lot of questions, getting to the next step, persevering through the problems, and just pushing, pushing, pushing. And the discipline are absolutely, I think, necessary if you want to accomplish anything in life, right? I mean, um, just solving problems. That's what it is. And if you don't want to solve problems and you give up, that's when kind of progress stops.
Okay. Um, all right. So I think I want to like talk more about long term, because everybody's obsessed with learning like the one magic strategy that's going to make me 10 grand a month starting tomorrow. So Sami, can you talk about a little bit about like what it takes to succeed? Like if somebody has like a 5 or 10 year horizon and they really want to make trading their career, like what do they need to do?
I mean, it's a, it's a huge topic. So there's a lot of things that one needs to do, but ultimately you need to like figure out what it is that you need to work on based on where you're at and where you want to be. Meaning, for some people, they need the discipline, right? For others, they have the discipline. Um, so they may need to work on something else. So because again, I can start talking about what you need to do to succeed in the long term. But again, it depends on the person basically. But the one thing that you really have to think about is that you have to think in terms of long term, not short term. Most people, they say, yeah, I want to succeed and I want to, but what they're saying is, I want to start making money tomorrow, and that's what they want, and understandably so. But the single most important thing is to think of this as a long term commitment, endeavor, career, whatever you want to think, however way you want to put it, and to not think short term. Because if you think short term, you're going to start making shortcuts. You're going to start feeling really upset quickly if it doesn't work out tomorrow, if trading is not good next week, or but if you think long term, then you'll just persevere, and you'll think, you'll just start to do what's best for you, not in the short term but in the long term. But again, there's a lot of other things, but that's like the number one thing that I would recommend.
Okay, now, so James, I'll put it to you in a slightly different way. So James had a very fast start as a trader. He did well right away. He was so good that Sami asked him to help lead the room. But a lot of people got destroyed in like late 2021, early 2022. That knocked a ton of people out of the game. So James, like, how did you survive sort of that first like really troubling period that knocked so many people out?
So, I mean, for me, like when I first started, because I think a lot of people, when like beginner traders, when they first start, they set these goals, like these financial goals, right? But for me, I started with kind of behavior goals. So, like, I would say, okay, you know what? This week, I'm going to try to scan for 5 buy setups, 5 breakouts, right? Try to identify those versus, oh, I'm going to try to make $100 this week. Or I'm going to try to watch 1 hour a day of this lesson. And those are the kind of goals that I was setting for myself in the beginning rather than like money. So as I kind of progressed through that, um, just building like a strong foundation to work off of, I think is was key for me. And then from there, having my trading plan and then following it and being confident in it, because it's hard to kind of, as a new trader, to stick to a game plan and then trying to go off of it because they have these financial goals, right? So I didn't really care about the money. I cared about progress. And then once I saw that, I was convinced that I was able to do it, because honestly, like in the beginning, I thought this was all like a fad. I thought it was going to end like one day. So I didn't really get confident in my trading until like a year and a half in, to be honest. So once I saw consistent money a year and a half, that's when I was like, okay, I think I know what I'm doing now, right? So I think a lot of people, they have this misconception like, oh, it's trading is going to be easy. I can learn it overnight. And it's not. It's like any other profession, right? Like brain surgery. You're not going to learn it overnight. Like it takes practice, it takes progress, and then it takes experience. And then after a while, you're going to say, hey, I think I know what I'm doing now.
Okay. So what helped you stick to the plan? Because I think with anything in life, whether you could be training for the marathon or learning to play a musical instrument, like a lot of people will make steady progress. And then if they do well, they will sort of drift away. So what kind of kept you on the right path?
I honestly, I have veered off the path as well, you know, but the issue is, do you adjust from it? So like so even after that year and a half, I took one of my biggest losses. Like I lost $10,000 on a single trade when I was only risking $500, which should have been a $500 loss, turned into a $10,000 loss. But I didn't let it stay there, right? So I learned from that, and I never again did I lose that amount on a single trade, or even close to that, because I was able to adjust from it. Like I learned from it, because a lot of people, you know, there was a movie on Netflix called I forget what the title is, but it's with Julia Roberts, and then it's like a disaster movie. It has nothing to do with stocks, but the guy was like a hedge fund manager, and then he was talking about how one of the scariest things that he sees from the traders that he works with is that basically they don't learn from their mistakes. They're just there to kind of get that dopamine hit, right? To get that little gamble, that little high right in between those the results. So it's really, do you want to do this? Like, what is your actual goal here? Like, are you trying to set a business up, like a business plan up for your trading, or are you here to make a quick cash and cash out? Because for me, it was just being consistent. And I think it's just part of my personality also. Like I'm more risk averse. So like on my trading, which I reveal on my YouTube channel, like all my results, you'll see that I don't really have like really big highs and really big lows. It's very consistent. So, I mean, I do have days where I do really well, but majority of the part, you'll never see me take big hits because I learned from that $10,000 mistake.
Okay, I want to first. I think Tom is saying that AI says your movie is "Leave the World Behind."
Leave the World Behind. Yes.
So, thank you, Tom. We appreciate it. Okay, so Sami, I think I want to play off something James said. So he had this $10,000 loss, and he learned from it. Now you've been in the game much longer than James. Have you ever made the same like big mistake twice?
I'd be lying if I said no. Of course, I've made the same mistake a million times. If you think about it, in trading, there's only so many mistakes you can make. There's entry-related mistakes, sizing-related mistakes, exit-related mistakes. So, and every other mistake is related to these three, four categories. So I've made, and I continue to make the same mistakes, but you learn from them and you start to, make them less and less frequently, and they become less and less of a disaster. Like, you make a big mistake in the beginning and it takes you out of the game. You blow out your account. But later on, you could still make the same mistake. You oversize the play, or you entered too early, or you exited too late, or whatever it is, right? They're all, again, there's only 4 or 5 mistakes that really you can make, and everything else is just a variance. So you could still make the same mistake, but you're not gonna like but the mistake is not going to be so big, so bad that it takes you out of the game completely. And then you learn from it, and you grow as a trader, and you start to make it once a month, once every couple of months, instead of every other day, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what I think, Mike.
Okay. All right. We're going to get, in a few minutes, we're going to get into what Sami and James's mentorship program is all about. But, James, I'm going to ask the same question to both of you guys. James, like, what's the most important thing you learned from Sami in terms of you becoming a teacher yourself?
I mean, you got to know what you're talking about. So I think for Sami, it was, I always say, like, there's people who know how to teach, there's people who know how to do, but rarely do you see someone who knows how to do both. And Sami was one of those guys, right? So if you're if I go back to kind of what I said earlier, right? I've had so many teachers, all different professions. And the reason why Sami stood out is because I can actually see him do the things that I'm learning. So actually being able to perform it, and that has basically, and he talked about having intrinsic value in that information and being very logical, knowing what you're talking about, and to convey that information to somebody else, being able to do both of those things, I think they go hand to hand. So knowing exactly what you're doing can obviously be a huge benefit when you're trying to teach it also. And he had the skill of actually being able to teach also, which helped me learn faster. And he says, oh, I've never seen James learn this, as someone like James learn this fast. And it's because he didn't have Sami teaching himself, right? Someone like Sami teaching himself. So I'm sure if he had someone in my position, I'm sure he would have done well as quick as I did also. So it's just knowing exactly what you're doing and then knowing how to convey that information.
Yeah, and I will say it is amazing how James's first time out teaching, he was awesome, like from the start, like right away, he was fantastic. And I think that's a testament to how well Sami taught him. So Sami, I'm going to flip the question around on you in a slightly different way. What have you learned from seeing James rise up so quickly as a pro trader?
The consistency. Like, if you check out James's YouTube channel and he goes through his daily results, and the consistency is incredible. I told James not too long ago that I don't think I've ever seen anyone with that kind of consistency. He rarely loses, like literally rarely has a losing day. Rarely, like maybe once a month. I don't know. So the consistency, that tells me this is somebody who's serious about it, is not just doing it because of an addiction, because he likes to press the buttons and see stocks go up or go down, because that's what it is. Unfortunately, that's what it is for a lot of people. It's an addiction. It's a game. They're seeking the thrill. They think they're trying to be consistent, but they're not really. That's not their goal. Their goal is they're in it because of the suspense, the thrill, the excitement, the addiction, right? And James is not in it for any of those reasons. How do I know? It's his consistency. So I love that about him, and I think that's if you have that gift. I don't know if it's just a skill, but it also, I think it's a trait. It's a personality trait. If you have that, I mean, that's the best of the best, because then no amount of no amount of like nothing will take you out of the market, basically. So I think that's what I love about James. Many other things, but his consistency is truly unmatched.
It's funny when Sami was talking about like who shouldn't be trained. I was like, I think he's talking about me. I was like, he's down because I'm definitely off the emotional deep end. So I'm definitely not equipped to be a professional trader. Okay. All right. So now we're going to talk about how you can actually make Sami and James your mentors. Because again, Sami learned through the Pristine system. Then James learned from Sami. Now they're learning from each other, and all of you out there can learn from them. So, like, as we said before, we've talked a lot about the importance of mentors. And again, we want you to be able to make these two guys, because remember, every hero has help along the way. Google hero's journey. There's always somebody to help. We all remember Yoda, and I cannot remember Lawrence Fishburne's name in The Matrix. Morpheus. Yes. Shoot me. Of course, Bill and Ted, Rocky, everything. There's always somebody to help along the way. Like if you think you can do this solo, think again, or at least having a good mentor can speed things up for you. So you're not pulling your hair out for like 3 months or 3 years, decades, whatever. Of course, my personal favorite, the Mighty Ducks. They would have been a bunch of bums. They never would have beaten the Hawks without Gordon Bombay. So again, we're introducing to you the Pristine Mentorship, April to June 2025. This is the biggest and best trader transformation program in the industry. I wrote that because I think it's true. Because originally this says that T3 Live has ever offered, but I've never seen anything this good from any of our competitors. And the goal, we want you to go from confused to confident, inconsistent to consistent. We know consistency is a huge thing. Nobody wants to ride the emotional roller coaster of your P&L going up and down like crazy. What we want you to do as well as possible, as often as possible. And of course, we want you to go from frustrated to happy. Because I think the strangest thing about trading and the stock market is how many traders actually seem like they hate it, where all they do is bitch and moan about how hard it is and how annoying it is and how the Fed and the hedge funds are screwing everybody over. Like, we will actually want you to like trading. It seems like the most obvious thing in the world, but I'm probably going to annoy half the people on here. But if you're bitching and moaning nonstop about trading, you should either quit or find a real way to level up. And Joshua just said, as a mentee from most recent mentorship, it's incredible how much James and Sami teach. Okay, so what this is not, again, this is not a traditional plain vanilla online class where you watch a whole bunch of videos and then voila, magic happens on Monday morning. Your life has changed and you're a billionaire. Now, life is not that simple. And again, and it's not a boring weekend lecture from a non-trader that can't deliver the goods in the real world. As I said before, I'm not a professional trader because I'm not psychologically and emotionally equipped, but I could fill up an auditorium and teach, and you would never know the difference because you didn't see me do anything in the real world. You can't really tell. This is what makes this totally different, is because you actually see these guys trade and they help you in real time after the learning. So there's 4 phases to the whole program. First, there's the orientation and live trading. So it starts with the Trading the Pristine Method course, which is the root of Sami and James's strategies. Now that's all the entries, the exits, the risk management stuff. It's all the how-to, chart analysis, trend analysis, all those things, all the how-to stuff. And then there's the Opening Rush Live course, which teaches you Sami's gap system, because a huge chunk of Sami's P&L comes from trading gaps. And of course, everybody likes to win at the open because then you have real control over your schedule and your day. And this trading alone is valued at $1,390. And everything you see, recordings are included. So phase 2, there's even more live trading and trading. So that's when you go in the room with Sami and James. So you get live ideas. So you can get the actual ideas they use. And this is where you can see that they're the real deal. Again, it's not a boring weekend lecture and then go do what you will. They're actually going to use the method right in front of you. And plus there's more lessons in gap scanning, level 2, market timing, all that stuff. And there's recordings of all lessons included. John, our friend John in the crowd, said, I've taken Sami's Pristine Method course and it is excellent. We totally agree. Again, and the Trading the Pristine Method course is taught live here. So if you're a beginner, you can start there. Okay, so phase 3 is group coaching. So this was a huge thing that everybody asked for because we remade the mentorship program for 2024. Everybody said, like, I want more coaching. I want like real coaching. So we added 5 group coaching sessions on Zoom every Thursday. So you get even more live training. You have all your questions answered, and the sessions are recorded for repeat viewing. So you could ask literally anything you want. Now, James made a huge mistake today. James, do you remember what your big mistake was? You said that good students annoy the teachers and they ask every question in the world. So this is where James totally blew it and ruined it for everybody. But yeah, you can ask them anything you want. Nothing is off limits. And this is a big thing people have been asking for, is they want the real deal from real pros. So you can ask literally anything you want about psychology, chart analysis, trade management, managing the psychological ups and downs of trading. They can help you with everything. And James, again, don't get mad when people are trying to keep you there all night asking questions. That's your fault. Okay, and then phase 4 is ongoing trader development. So the learning doesn't stop. You also get 1 year in the Strategic Day Trader VTF, which is the live trading room. You get 1 year of Sammy's swing trading newsletter, and you get 2 more courses. So it's not just this short little burst of training. It goes on for a year. So you can just keep on learning. So again, what makes this different from a traditional online class? Because you can take a class from, even if you hate T3, there's a million places you can buy a class from. So what makes this different? And this is the biggest question of all. And first thing, obviously, is you learn the system from 2 world-class pros. Then you see them use the system in real-world conditions. Then you get coached by them. And this is everything you need. Again, it's not just the weekend online class. Then guys, go have fun. Do what you can. Leave us alone. We're not going to answer your questions. No, this is real accountability because you learn, you see it working, and you get coached along the way to help you tweak, make changes, make improvements. So who's it for? Another big question. So if you want to go all in on becoming consistently profitable, if you want intimate guidance and coaching, and also if you want to go pro, if you're thinking about becoming a professional trader, this is a great way to get off the ground. So a little bit about more about who else has joined. So we had people from at least 18 countries in 2024. There actually could be more just because of the way online payment system works, but at least 18, including, the US, Switzerland, England, Hong Kong, Germany, France, Bulgaria, Canada, Denmark. We even let in some Australians, but no, just kidding. We actually have a huge Australian population in our community. But yeah, we had at least people from at least 18 countries and all across the United States. Now, some have been total beginners. Most have at least a few years of experience. The Trading the Pristine Method course does teach the basics. So if you are a newcomer, that will cover your bases for getting started. And our friend Victor Lopez, again, is telling us, in the mentorship, I asked a lot of questions, and Sammy and James were great answering all my inquiries. Victor, thank you. We love you. Okay. And, these events sell fast. So 11 students have already signed up for this. It's actually 12 because another person bought it just before this event started. So 12 people have already signed up before it went officially on sale to our full audience. So again, if you want a spot, think about it soon. And these are some of the comments we've gotten from students. So Micah from Hawaii said, I was confident enough to leave my job, move back to Honolulu, and trade full time. This kind of makes me want to join it because I'd like to move to Honolulu. Brooklyn, it's like 10 degrees out. It's terrible. Ken from Texas says, Sammy's sharing the money-making strategy that he himself relies upon. AJ from North Carolina said, I was so motivated when I came to know that James attended Sammy's mentorship, seeing where he is now. I felt I could reach his level. Brian from Seattle said, I covered the entire cost of the mentorship from one trade idea I got from Sammy. Now, there's no guarantees, obviously, but you do get their live ideas in the room. So again, it's not just weekend class and then go do everything yourself. You get their live ideas. And obviously, we want you to make money off their ideas. And this is the goal. This doesn't happen all the time, but this is what we want to see happen. Malede, I think that's how you pronounce it, said they are great at teaching and have the patience. Very important. Dennis from Australia said James shows a passion to see the students get started in their own trading careers. Ben from Canada said, following the mentorship, my P&L began gradually increasing, and after increasing risk, the gains became more noticeable. Ren from Virginia said, it can change your life as it has mine, of course, if you're willing to put in the work. James from Texas says, I made back what I paid for the mentorship and more during the week. Again, you get their ideas live, so you can see the real thing. Jason from California said, I was green every day I was there. I was able to ask Sami the most elaborate questions, and he would take the time to answer. But yes, we would like you to be green every day. That would be a miracle. No guarantees. Phil from New York said, my account was up nearly 20% in the 5 days of the mentorship. Collins from India. Collins is actually the first person that ever did this online. And he was from India. He was the first person to ever do the mentorship online. He said it was the experience of a lifetime. I watched all the way from India via live video streaming. So Collins, we actually need to give him credit. He sort of launched this whole, the online mentorship for us. This person didn't want their name said, but they attended multiple mentorships. And yes, some people do this more than once. He said, like the last mentorship I attended, I learned a lot and was surprised at all the small important details. Sami is a fantastic teacher. Marlene from Illinois said, I learned so much that I did not want the experience to end. Newell from Florida said, this is the type of experience that will separate the novice from being a pro. Sami's collection of material would take years to find any other way. Now, I could be doing this like all day long. I have like 10 million testimonials from all of Sami's and James's students over the years. But you can see everybody saying pretty much the same thing, that either they made a ton of money during the mentorship or they basically got their career launched. They got their heads screwed on straight so they could start succeeding in trading. And Zolti from California said, outstanding experience, way beyond my expectations. So there's a whole bunch of stuff included. The mentorship itself, the Trading the Pristine Method Live, Opening Rush Live, 1 year of the trading room, 1 year of the Swing Trading newsletter, the Advanced Management Strategies course, the Advanced Technical Strategies home study program. And plus you can see there's even more stuff that Sami insisted we include. So you get Sami's 23 vital trading resources. It's basically the secret weapons kit, bonuses on top. You're also getting personal feedback on your trading. You can piggyback Sami and James's trades. And there's full recordings of all the education and coaching sessions for repeat viewing. And the most important thing is you can put the pieces together and go on your own trading journey. Again, you want to be the hero in your own journey. You don't want to just be a bystander or a victim. Okay, and the total value of everything on the screen is $12,265. And the regular price is $59.95. But we're doing early bird pricing until the end of the month. You can get in for $54.95. If you go to t3live.com/mentor, we will also follow up with you over email. Amber's going to email you the replay after the event, answer any questions you have. But yes, the rebate expires on January 31st. And again, you can go to t3live.com/mentor. The link is down in the description below. If you're on Twitter, look in the tweet below the tweet with the video, and you can see the link there. And if you have any questions, you can contact my friend Amber at t3live.com, and she can answer any questions you have about the event. And yes, so Amber posted this comment on the screen. Pending availability, sells out very quickly, so don't wait. A funny thing happened. The last time we did one of these webinars, all the slots sold out before the webinar because people are hungry for these live trading experience. So Jamal is from YouTube is asking live Zoom trading room every day. So the trading room is not on Zoom. The trading room is in our own platform, which is better than Zoom because it's way faster than Zoom. I don't know if you've ever done any kind of live broadcasting. If you say something on Zoom, the other person hears it like 30 seconds later. So Zoom is kind of a mess for live, and it's a sign. If you're out there hunting for trading rooms, be very careful with any trading room hosted on Zoom. They can be a little bit problematic. Okay, so I think Port Max on YouTube asking, big question is, my main issue is the psychology. So James, I'll kick that over to you because you're experienced, but you're newer. So how did you sort of get your head right to trade the right way, stay on plan, and succeed?
So for me, in the beginning, I think why a lot of beginner traders fail or like have problems with psychology is because they don't know exactly what to do. So if I have a plan, whether the stock market goes up, down, or sideways, if I have a plan for any sort of outcome, then I have pretty much directions of what to do, right? So it's like having it's like building Legos. If you have the instructions there, you have no problem. I can just start building it, no matter what that Lego piece is. As long as I follow the directions, I know at the end, the finished product is going to look exactly like the picture. But let's say some of those pages are missing, then you're going to start to guess and maybe do things your own way of what you think, and that's when things start to turn sideways. So as you gain experience, this is why I know there's some of the mentorship students in this room right now. That's why I'm always kind of pushing, hey, start your trading plan, do your work on your trading plan every single day, because really all you need to do is have it played out one time, right? You just need to have it in the most detailed as possible, just one time, and then now it's in here. So anything that happens in the market, you know what to do, right? So having a plan for whatever results there is out there, and that comes with experience and being with us, that kind of really puts you in like a shortcut of kind of, because we're going to share with you our trading plans and you can kind of build off of that. And just knowing what to do in any situation is can really offset what you think is best, because now you're more confident in what the paper says than your own kind of random thinking, which leads to random results.
Okay, I will say a thank you to Akeem, who just joined the mentorship. So that's 13 people have joined so far, which is awesome. Okay, so Sami, I'll ask you the next question. So our friend James, another person from YouTube named James. So can a complete beginner join, or do you recommend at least a year of studying?
So here's the absolute truth. When James joined, he had not yet taken a single day trade. He had done options trading, but he had not done a single equity trade, stock trade. When he joined, he didn't know the very basic stuff. He came up to me during break and asked me what the level 2 window was. The market depth window. He didn't know what it was. And I'm saying this only to tell you that when James attended the mentorship, he was a complete beginner. 4.5 months later, he was a moderator, and like he picked it up, figured it out, and so you don't need to, and became a moderator. You don't need the experience. If you have the experience, maybe that's a plus. But then you will have also bad habits to unlearn. If you're new, you don't have those bad habits to unlearn. So it's suitable to complete beginners and people with experience. There are advantages and disadvantages to being an experienced trader and somebody that is a complete beginner. I say if that's what you want to do and you're motivated, do it regardless of your experience level. Okay, that's what I say.
Yeah,
No,
I think
yeah.
Go on, James.
So like for me, like I really didn't know anything, right? So I believe like this, if you are brand new and you're coming into this course, I think you have a huge advantage, because our methodology is so objective and logical that once you like really get it down, you find that there's no other way to really trade that you would want to trade. So learning this with like a blank canvas, I think you have an advantage, because like Sami said, you don't have any bad habits developed, and you don't have any bad beliefs or wrong beliefs kind of lingering in the back of your head that can kind of mess with this sort of methodology. So I think you have an advantage.
Yeah, I would say as long as you have to be dedicated. Like this is absolutely not for the lazy. So if you can be a beginner, but you have to be serious about learning. Now, here's a great comment. Sami is the nicest pro trader I've ever met, which I would actually agree with. Sami is very unusual because he's very, traders can be a little wacky. Sami's like very calm and rational and organized. So Sami is absolutely a unicorn. Okay. So James, I'll ask you, what did you learn from the students about getting on the path to trading well?
So, like I said, the students that I see succeed are the ones kind of are asking a lot of questions, kind of, asking me, hey, look at my trading plan I've been working on, give me some feedback. And it's the ones that are just constantly curious and constantly going through issues, but trying to find a solution to the problems that they're having, versus just kind of sitting back and hoping one day it kind of all falls together into one piece. They're proactively going out there, getting things done. And those are the ones really that are succeeding, that I see that are really succeeding. And I was the same way. So yeah, just pushing forward and constantly asking Sami questions, not me, asking Sami questions.
Okay. All right. So James, yeah. So it is like James, definitely your story is definitely a little bit of an oddball story. Like, cause it's like you traded options, but not stocks. So what actually made you pull the trigger and said, I trust this guy, Sami, let me go with him?
Well, for the reason that we've been kind of highlighting on is he's actually doing it live in front of my face, and he's actually was pretty much an open book when I first joined one of his webinars, just like this one. He was showing his P&L statements and just very open about everything, wins, losses. So for me, being able to see the actual teacher in action is what kind of drove me. Hey, I've never seen anything like this. Never seen anyone offer something like this. This seems like a no-brainer. Let's give it a shot. So
yeah, in terms of real deals, Sami is quite unique because if the market was open right now, Sami would be trading. He would literally be trading, because what he does is he will talk to you and then you see his arms over here and he's actually like trading.
he's
So
probably
yeah,
right now, I'm sure.
yeah. Sami, are you trading Bitcoin right now? I have a feeling.
No, but yeah, I was looking at crypto, but I'm not trading. I have my laptop right here, but I'm
See,
not
I
trading. I
told you.
promise. Yeah, I promise. I didn't take a single trade.
Yeah, yeah. Sami's so interesting because Sami's not even a native English speaker. He didn't learn English until like he went to college, and he can speak English very clearly while trading and talking about something completely different. So Sami is absolutely an animal. It's a very strange thing to see, but he is unbelievable. Okay, guys, again, if you want to sign up, if you think you're ready for something bigger, you can go to t3live.com/mentor. The link is also down below. If you have any questions, email Amber at t3live.com, and she's helped hundreds of people through these specific programs. So if you're not sure, if you're ready, if you're not sure this is the right thing for you, absolutely email her and ask her. She will tell you if it's a good idea or if it's not a good idea for you. So guys, again, t3live.com/mentor, t3live.com/mentor. The link is down below. John Johnson says Amber is great. We agree 1000%. So Sami and James, absolutely. Thank you for joining me today. We really, really appreciate it. And guys, this is an amazing opportunity. If you're serious about trading, please think about joining this event. Guys, thank you. Everybody have an awesome day.
Thanks, everyone.